I am making a Pendulum Magician deck profile, and I was testing the deck, and it seemed to do really good. It just did not accomplish the main goal I made for it, which was to summon Supreme King Zarc. However, it did still do pretty well. I only lost, I want to say, once in the tournament that I used it in. Starting off with the monster cards. Play one Gazer Magician. You only play this because of Chronograph Sorcerer's Pendulum ability. But because it's Pendulum Magician, you can either place it in your Pendulum scale if you really need it there, or you can still summon it as another summon towards Electromite before you Pendulum summon. Then I play 3 copies of Harmonizing Magician. Its Pendulum effect lets you increase the attack points of all your monsters by 100 for every different Pendulum Magician in your extra deck that's face up. Then its monster ability, it cannot be summoned from the extra deck, and when it's Pendulum summoned, you can then special summon another Pendulum monster from your deck that has Magician in its name to use the field. However, it is banished when it leaves the field, the exception being when it's used for an Exceed summon. And then I play one Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. If you control no monsters, special summon it from your Pendulum scale. You don't really use its other ability. It's just more Electromite fodder. Then I play 3 Purple Poison. Purple Poison's ability is it can, when a Dark Spellcaster battles, you increase its attack points by 1200, and then it destroys itself, which would then trigger its monster ability because it was destroyed by its own effect. But that would then let you destroy another card, or 1 card on the field. And I play 2 Wisdom Eye. I want to play 3, but I only have 2. But when it's you don't really use this monster ability often, but its Pendulum ability is while you have another Pendulum Magician monster in your other scale, you can destroy it to then place any Pendulum Magician from your deck to the Pendulum scale. And when I say Pendulum Magician, I mean a Pendulum monster that's Magician in its name. Then I play 2 White-Wing Magician. Its Pendulum ability has actually been somewhat useful, where if a Dark Spellcaster, nope, once per turn when an activated card or effect resolves that targets a Dark Spellcaster monster, it can negate the effect and then destroy it. And then that would cause its monster ability to activate. Wait, no, it wouldn't. I keep thinking it's another Pendulum Magician. However, with its monster ability, if it's used for a Synchro Summon, it's banished. But you don't really use it as a tuner monster. You primarily use it for it being a Synchro Dragon. Then I play 2 Blackfang. It can have its Pendulum ability lets you target one monster your opponent controls, have its attack and it's destroyed. And then once destroyed, you can bring back a Dark Spellcaster from your graveyard. Then I play 1 Kaiden Kendo Spirit. I only play it because it's a scale 9, so it lets me Pendulum Summon level 8 monsters. And it returns to your hand after your Pendulum Summon due to its Pendulum effect, so more spell counters. Then I play 3 Chronograph. When it's in your Pendulum scale, you can destroy it to then either summon Time Gazer Edition or place in your Pendulum scale. And you can only use that effect once. However, Time Gazer has to be in your hand or deck for that effect. And then if a card or cards you control be destroyed while it's in your hand, you can special summon it and one other monster from your hand. And the effect it has that most people don't usually use, its ability to banish a Pendulum Dragon, Fusion Dragon, Synchro Dragon, and Xyz Dragon to then summon Supreme King Zarc. Then I play 1 Oath Dragon Magician. You hardly ever use its monster ability. The main effect you use is while you have a Magician in the other scale. You target one Magician monster that's face up in your extra deck and add it to your hand. And then I play 2 Mythical Beast Jackal King. If you have no other cards in your other Pendulum scale, it can destroy itself and then summon another Mythical Beast face up from your extra deck other than itself. And then each time a spell card's activated, it gets 2 spell counters. And but you can use 2 spell counters to negate a monster effect. Then I play 3 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This card's only played so I can summon Zarc, but its double battle damage does come in handy every once in a while. Then to finish off the monsters, I play 3 Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. Master Cerberus's ability is, or its pendulum effect, is if you have no cards in the other pendulum zone, you can destroy it to then add a mythical beast other than itself from deck to hand. And its monster ability is when a spell card's activated, it gets 2 counters. And while it has 4 counters, it can't be targeted. Is it targeted or destroyed? Okay, just cannot be targeted. Yeah, I can't speak. It cannot be destroyed while it has 4 more counters. And by removing 4 counters once per turn, you can target 1 monster opponent controls, banish it, and then it gains its attack until the end of the turn. That is it for the monster cards. Moving on to spell cards, I play 1 Pendulum Fusion. This card is a polymerization that also lets you fuse using cards in your pendulum scales. 1 Star Pendulum Graph. Makes so your opponent cannot target your spellcaster monsters with spell cards. And if a face-up Pendulum Magician monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can add another Pendulum Magician from your deck to your hand. And I play Pendulum Paradox. If you have 2 it lets you add 2 Pendulum monsters with different names but the same scale from your extra deck to your hand. You can only use it once per turn. And I play 1 Rank Up Magic Barion's Force. I use this as a little tech card, and I would honestly have thought about replacing it with Quick Chaos or Numeron Force. Quick Chaos being a quick play, or Numeron Force being a mass effect negation for all face-up cards on the field other than the monster you summon. And then I play 3 Pendulum Call. You discard 1 card to add 2 Pendulum Magicians with different names from your deck to your hand. You cannot use it if you've already used a Pendulum Magician effect in your Pendulum Scale. Also, your Pendulum Magicians in your scales cannot be destroyed till the end of the next turn. You can only use it once per turn. And another is another once per turn card. 3 Duelist Alliance. Just adds a card with Pendulum and its name from your deck to your hand. And that's it for the spells. For the traps, I play 3 Time Pendulum Graph. This card was amazing when I was using it in the tournament. Just because while it's active, your opponent cannot target your spellcaster monsters with trap effects. And once per turn, target 1 magician you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. And if it's unable to destroy 2 cards, it then lets you send an opponent's card to the graveyard. So I used it against Rockets, and they summoned Dragon's Darkness Metal Dragon. I destroyed it, and then I then sent their set card, which was a Solemn Strike, and their turn just ended. And that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, I play 1 Electromite, just because it's at 1 on the ban list. It has 3 effects, requiring 2 Pendulum monsters. First effect is on summon, send a Pendulum monster from your deck to the extra deck. Second effect is a mandatory effect. If a card or cards in the Pendulum zone you control are destroyed, draw a card. And its third effect, you can destroy 1 face-up card you control, to then add a face-up Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck to your hand. Yeah. This card's amazing. I would play more of it if it wasn't at 1 on the ban list. And I play 1 Zephyr Metaltron just because it unlocks more zones for Pendulum on your extra deck. For the season monsters, I play 1 Dweller to deal with cards like decks like Orcust. 1 Silent Arc to deal with Dingirsu. Tornado Dragon to deal with Pendulums and just back row decks in general. Then I play 2 Time Star Magician. This card has the ability of you use 1 material to then add 1 Dark Spellcaster from your deck to your hand. And if once per turn, if a Pendulum card or cards you control be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send 1 Pendulum Magician from your deck to the graveyard instead. So you could use, I found that you can actually protect this or Time Star Magician with White Wing Magician. And I play one Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. Once per turn, if it battles a monster, you can use a material, steal all that monster's attack points. The only effect you really use. Then the reason I play rank on Magic Baron's Force, Chaos number 101, Silent Honor Dark. Most people don't even realize this card exists, but doesn't require have any effect that requires it to have a material other than its resurrection effect. But if Silent Honor Dark once per turn, it can target one special summon monster your opponent controls, and it becomes a material. And if it's destroyed while it has at least one material, and Silent Honor Arc is in the graveyard, including its initial destruction, it resurrects itself back from the graveyard, and then you gain life points equal to its current attack points on the field. However, when you use that effect, it cannot attack, which is sad because I thought always just use it as attack, absorb, attack, destroyed, comes back, absorb again, or attack and then absorb. But it can not attack the second time. And then to finish off the Xyz monsters, I play one Naruto. Acquires 2 level 6 monsters. And then once per turn during your opponent's turn. Yep, during either player's turn. Quick effect. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can use one of its materials, negate the activation, and destroy it. So just another negation. For synchros, I play one Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. When it's summoned, you destroy all your opponent's face-up monsters. And if it battles a monster, you can, before that damage step, you can destroy that, negate its attack, destroy the monster, and then deal damage to its attack on field. Play one against your prominence. Again, would play more than one if it wasn't limited on the bane list. You can destroy one Pendulum monster on the field. So again, great for the mirror match. To then shuffle one of your opponent's cards back into the deck. And then you don't really use its other effect because you don't play True Dracos in this deck. And I play one Starving Venom Fusion Dragon for Pendulum Fusion. And I finish off the extra deck. I play 2 copies of Supreme King Zarc. Just because this is the monster I made the deck for. It can only be fusion summoned. And when it's fusion summoned, all cards in your opponent's field are destroyed. It cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And if it destroys a monster in battle, then you can summon another Supreme King monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or extra deck. And then if it would be destroyed, well, then it can be put in the Pendulum zone. And its Pendulum effect negates the effects of Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters. And if your opponent were to add a card from their deck to their hand, except for drawing it during the draw phase, then you can destroy that card or cards. So your opponent activates Desires, they banish 10 for cost, draw 2, Zarc instantly destroys those 2 cards they drew. And that is it for the deck profile. If you have any ideas on how you can improve the deck, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching.